Hey guys, Taylor with GammaEdge here, coming at you with a quick market status for Monday, April 17th. Here's our general disclaimer. Give this a read when you're done, so let's move on. Here looking at our tick US model, cumulative tick, waterfall down day on Friday after somewhat of a reversal on Thursday. Short-term moving average ribbon is trending lower, railroad tracks down. Longer-term moving average ribbon is flat to down, fully inverted. Filtered tick supported the cumulative tick. We had a linear down day through kind of early afternoon. And then new lows did outpace new highs. Here, this is the tick ARCX model. Bit of a different picture here, that being the longer-term moving average ribbon is almost fully uninverted, trending higher. We have the cumulative tick that is above the longer-term moving average ribbon. However, it is below the short-term moving average ribbon that is heading lower, railroad tracks down. So it's a bit of a short-term bearishness, within a longer-term bullishness construct. So something the bulls want to see is what we always want to see. Bullish structure is on the shorter-term time frame. We want to see if this cumulative tick start to break above the short-term moving average ribbon, then get that railroad tracks. Again, progressing higher. Thing that we did note, earlier in the week was the cumulative tick. We're starting to get a good bit extended from the longest term moving average ribbon, that being the cyan. So oftentimes when we see this, need to be cognizant of when taking new longs kind of this late in the cycle. So hopefully y'all heeded that advice and got the move down. Don't want to say it's predictable, but probabilities were favoring it more and more just as we continue to press higher and higher above the longer term moving average ribbon. So from here, certainly it would be healthy to see some bit of consolidation and then progression higher. What we don't want to see is a continued waterfall lower, and then that leads to below the moving average ribbon. Hitting on price action itself, SPY, SPX, QQQ, those always stay the same. Looking at Friday's price action on SPY, not a ton to say here, just choppy price action around the levels. Really no good consolidations, in my opinion, to trade against. I mean, you could have taken this little consolidation here against 0gex, then you had a retest and a move higher. Maybe that retest actually a pretty decent spot with hindsight. Good 0gex to P-trans move right there. Looking at SPX, again, just consolidation around P-trans. There were some potential entries, did have some consolidation areas, things go back, look at, just kind of understand the price action. Looking at the 65-minute chart, not a ton to say here. We were in a bit of a trading range for the last couple of weeks. We know that 410 is an important level. We know that 405, 400 is an important level, and then to the upside, 420 is an important level. So here, looking at Apple and Tesla, I apologize, the Tesla chart is not very good, but on the 65-minute chart, you can see it's just a lot of choppy back and forth action. Looking at Apple, Friday's price action, again, just a lot of chop between COTMP and P-trans, not a ton of really actual things to do there, in my opinion. Lastly, looking at Microsoft and NVIDIA. Microsoft, first off, you can see just a lot of consolidation right around big liquidity level. Not a ton to do there. Perhaps you could have taken maybe this reversal VAR off 0gex with a play up to P-trans. However, that was kind of late in the session, so not necessarily something I'm interested in looking at. And then looking at NVIDIA, again, it's actually interesting. This little kind of sandwiching of price action between COTMP and negative gex could have played that breakout up to 0gex. That would have been a perfectly logical move to make. Easy to define your risks there between the zones. So now moving on to the 5 p.m. script from Friday. Again, this is our best guess of what tomorrow may be until we get those overnight updates. See, looking at SPY on the 65-minute chart, we're at the top of a key kind of liquidity zone. This corresponds nicely with P-trans, so we're sitting right at 0gex. So one possible move is a 0gex to P-trans move. However, we know there's that kind of supply zone there. So what I'm more interested in is seeing breakout of P-trans and a retest and then a push higher towards plus gex. Again, looking at SPX, we have P-trans and COTMP supportive to the downside. And then we also have Qs, again, right in between 0gex and P-trans. What I want to see there, again, is a push higher above P-trans, retest then a break higher. Another thing to note on the SPY chart, we have Friday's lows, demand zone down here. This corresponds nicely with COTMP. So if we do get some kind of sell-off Monday, I'd be looking for supportive action here at COTMP to risk against. Moving on to Apple and Tesla. Apple, we are sitting right at P-Trans. However, the structure is similar to that of SPY, SPX. Here we have Friday's highs as a bit of a supply zone. We have Friday's lows acting as a demand zone. Those correspond nicely with our levels. So, some kind of weakness. See the demand zone, COTMP hold for supportive action. Then Tesla, not really digging this chart right now, kind of in no man's land, no real tradable levels. Microsoft and Nvidia. Microsoft, we do have COTMP negative GEX to the downside. This corresponds with some demand zones to the upside. We are flirting with this key kind of price level supply zone overhead. So perhaps we get some kind of break, retest, push higher. With a move, I don't really see any zones in this picture. That doesn't mean that they're not above us. And then looking at Nvidia, zero GEX, interesting spot right here. We do have the highs of Thursday and Friday to contend with, but if we are able to progress a push above those, you could use zero GEX to risk against. A couple other one-off symbols I wanted to hit on. Meta, we're sitting right at the highs made on Friday. Zero GEX above us, so this is kind of a great risk-reward setup. If we get some kind of break, retest, push higher, use that retest point as your stop with a target at plus GEX. And then to the downside, looking at AMD, kind of broke structure to the downside. Now it's retesting it. If we do get a move lower, negative GEX, COTMP could be your target. And then lastly, we are looking at BABA here. A bit of a consolidation that was made on Friday. Potential trade here. This isn't a longer term downtrend. If you zoom out on the 65-minute charts, what I'd be interested in here is a break of zero GEX retest and a push down to COTMP. And then if we get kind of any more further weakness, could be looking down towards negative trends and whatnot. So with that, best of luck to you all tomorrow. See you all in the room tonight for open mic at 8 p.m. Central. And if we don't see you there, then we'll be on streaming throughout the day tomorrow. Bye.